11 wide receivers were drafted before Terry Mclaurin in the 2019 NFL Draft. Terry Mclaurin has been an elite wide receiver this season, now that he finally has an elite quarterback. Today we're going to find out how those wide receivers drafted before him turned out, and were they the right pick. Hollywood Marquise Brown was selected 25th overall by the Baltimore Ravens.
With the 25th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Marquise Brown.
There it is.
There we go. Wide receiver, Oklahoma.
Marquise is actually cousins with legendary wide receiver Antonio Brown. He ran a blazing fast 4.27.40 at the Oklahoma Pro Day. At Oklahoma, Kyler Murray and Hollywood were a deadly duo. In his 2 seasons there, he had 2,413 yards with 17 touchdowns. As a rookie, he put up 46 receptions for 584 yards and 7 touchdowns. Heading into his second season, his workload increased. He had 58 receptions for 769 yards and 8 touchdowns. In his third season, he finally hit the 1,000-yard mark. After that season, he requested a trade and wasn't happy in Baltimore. He stated the Baltimore offense just wasn't for him, so he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals for a first-round pick. To be honest, the Cardinals probably overpaid, considering he only spent 2 seasons in Arizona with his former college quarterback Kyler Murray. Heading into the 2024 season, he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Ultimately, injuries have plagued his career so far. He'll be in the league for a long time just because of his electric speed. Second wide receiver taken. Mecole Hardman was selected 32nd overall by the New England Patriots. Coming out of Arizona State, Mecole was a big body wide receiver. He combined for 20 touchdowns in his final 2 seasons there. It felt like he was in an ideal situation. He got to play with Tom Brady, but after an injury-riddled rookie season, he finished with just 105 yards in 7 games. He stayed with them until the 2022 offseason. Mecole was traded for a 7th-round pick to the Chicago Bears. In 2023, he signed with the Minnesota Vikings, where he would switch to play tight end instead of receiver. In 2024, he had a short stint on the Seattle Seahawks practice squad. It's safe to say the Patriots could have used Scary Terry over Mecole Hardman. Maybe Tom Brady would have stayed, considering he needed receiver help badly. Third wide receiver taken. Deebo Samuel was selected 36th overall in the 2nd round by the San Francisco 49ers.
With the 32nd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Deebo Samuel, South Carolina.
In 2019, as a rookie, Deebo had 57 receptions for 802 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns, showing early his ability to be versatile. In the 2020 season, Deebo struggled to be available for the 49ers. He missed time due to injuries. He did have a 100-yard game, showing his true potential. Deebo wouldn't break out until the 2001 season. In that season, he had 77 receptions for 1,405 yards and 14 total touchdowns. Deebo proved to be one of the best run-after-catch wide receivers in the NFL. He would turn short passes into huge gains. Deebo was named a first-team All-Pro and a Pro Bowler, both for the first time. During the 2022 offseason, Deebo wanted his big payday after his elite 2021 season. Well, he ended up getting his big payday of $73.5 million over 3 years. In 2022, Deebo missed a few games due to injury. In just 13 games, he had just 632 yards and 5 total touchdowns. To be honest, he hasn't performed to his 2021 level since. In 2024, he was clowned big time for dropping lots of balls, with only 1 season above 1,000 yards in his career. Fourth wide receiver taken. A.J. Brown was selected 51st overall in the 2nd round by the Tennessee Titans. Coming out of Ole Miss, A.J. was putting up insane numbers. He put up 2,572 yards and 17 touchdowns in his final 2 seasons there. He was a big physical 225-pound wide receiver with a great ability to make contested catches. A.J. wasted no time in the NFL, putting up 52 receptions for 1,051 yards with 8 touchdowns as a rookie. He also averaged an insane 20 yards per catch, displaying his big play ability. In his second season, he repeated great stats, putting up 70 receptions for 1,075 yards with 11 touchdowns. This time, his performance didn't go unnoticed, as he would be selected to his first Pro Bowl. In his 3rd season, his stats fell off a little bit, putting up less than 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. In 2022, he truly became a premier wide receiver in the league. He was questionably traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for a first-round pick, but in 2022, with Jalen Hurd and company, he put up 88 receptions for 1,496 yards with 11 touchdowns. This elite season gave him his 2nd Pro Bowl appearance. AJ followed up that season with another elite season. In 2023, he put up a career-high 106 receptions for 1,456 yards with 7 touchdowns. Despite missing 4 games in 2024, AJ Brown still put up over 1,000 yards. He's proven to be an elite wide receiver in the NFL. You can probably say he's better than Terry Mclaurin. 5th wide receiver taken. Mecole Hardman was selected 56th overall in the 2nd round by the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming out of Georgia, his specialty was being a punt returner. He led his conference in punt return return yards the final 2 seasons. At the combine, he ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. This is what intrigued the Chiefs the most. The idea of pairing Mecole and Tyreek was too good. Early on in his rookie season, he showed flashes of brilliance. In week 3 against the Ravens, he caught an 83-yard touchdown pass by Patrick Mahomes. As a rookie, he caught 26 receptions for 538 yards and 8 total touchdowns. For his incredible returns, he was selected to a Pro Bowl as a special teamer. The Chiefs even won a Super Bowl that year. Fast forward to 2022, he'd win his second Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Then in 2023, he signed a 1-year deal with the New York Jets, but he barely got playing time there and asked to be traded. Of course, the Chiefs traded a late-round pick to get him back. With the Chiefs in 2023, he caught the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime of the Super Bowl. He signed another 1-year deal to go back with the Kansas City Chiefs. He spent 2024 on the injured reserve list after December. Overall, he's been a good specialist. That's what he was drafted to do. But Terry Mclaurin, for sure, would have been a better pick. 6th wide receiver taken. JJ Arcega-Whiteside was drafted 57th overall in the 2nd round by the Philadelphia Eagles. JJ was a big-body wide receiver and a great red zone threat. He scored an insane 14 touchdowns in his final season at Stanford. However, in the NFL, he never really worked out. Despite trying to switch to the tight end position in 2022, he was traded to the Seattle Seahawks, where he lasted 2 seasons before getting released by them. In 2024, he signed a contract in the Canadian Football League. 7th wide receiver taken. 2 picks later, Parris Campbell was drafted to the Indianapolis Colts 59th overall. Fun fact about Parris Campbell is he attended the same high school as LeBron James. At the NFL Combine, he ran a blazing fast 4.31. He had relatively good size too. He was an intriguing prospect out of Ohio State. Despite all of this, he hasn't really panned out in the NFL. His best season came in 2022, where he had 63 receptions for 623 yards and 3 touchdowns. In 2023, he signed a 1-year contract with the New York Giants. After barely getting playing time, he signed with the Eagles the following season. To be fair, injuries have also held him back, but Terry probably would have been a better pick. Isabella was drafted 3 spots later to the Arizona Cardinals at pick 62. In his final season at Massachusetts, he put up an insane 102 receptions for 1,698 yards with 13 touchdowns. At the NFL Combine, he ran a 4.31 40-yard dash, but he was a small receiver standing at 5'8". Unfortunately for Andy, he never worked out in the NFL. He bounced around a few teams and today plays for the UFL. 9th wide receiver taken. 2 picks later, a man named DK Metcalf was drafted 64th overall to the Seattle Seahawks. This is a man who ran a 4.33 40-yard dash at 6'4" tall, weighing 236 pounds of pure muscle. In college, he dealt with lots of injuries, so he never put up any big-time numbers at Ole Miss. That would change in the NFL. As a rookie, he had 58 receptions for 900 yards with 7 touchdowns. Metcalf took his game to another level in his 2nd season, putting 83 receptions for 1,303 yards with 10 touchdowns. This gave him his first Pro Bowl appearance of his career. As of today, he's put up a total of 3 1,000-yard seasons in his career. He got his big payday back in 2022, where he signed a 3-year extension worth $72 million. Between him and Mclaurin, it's tough to say who's been better so far. 2 picks later, Diontae Johnson was drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was more of a route runner than an athlete. In his 2nd season, he put up a respectable 88 receptions for 923 yards and 7 touchdowns. His true breakout season came the following 2021 season, where he put up 107 receptions for 1,601 yards and 8 touchdowns. The next 2 seasons, his stats fell off a bit. In 2022, he recorded 0 touchdowns on an insane 147 targets. However, he did get a 2-year extension worth up to $36 million. In the 2024 offseason, he was traded to the Carolina Panthers. He had a couple good games for them before being traded to the Baltimore Ravens. He'd complain about lack of playing time and get released by them. He was then signed to the Houston Texans, where he'd play in a playoff game for them. Once again, he was cut by them due to his complaining. Ironically, he signed back to the Ravens, where he'll become a restricted free agent. 11th wide receiver taken. Jalen Hurd was selected 1 pick later at the beginning of the 3rd round by the San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers select Jalen Hurd, wide receiver, Baylor.
Jalen was a big-body wide receiver who flashed early in his college career. Unfortunately, in the NFL, Jalen Hurd suffered major injuries, starting with a back injury that didn't allow him to play in his rookie year. In 2023, he signed for the Patriots for a week before ultimately deciding to retire from the game of football. 12th wide receiver taken. Finally, Terry Mclaurin was drafted to the Washington Redskins with the 76th overall pick of the 3rd round. He also ran a good 40-yard dash at 4.35. As a rookie, he caught 58 receptions for 919 yards and 7 touchdowns. This was a pretty solid rookie season for him. In his 2nd season, he hit 1,118 receiving yards. From that 2020 season on, Terry hasn't had less than 1,000 yards in a season, which is pretty impressive considering he's had 10 different starting quarterbacks in his career so far. Now with Jaden Daniels as his starting quarterback, he took his game to the next level. In 2024, he broke the single-season receiving touchdown record for Washington with 13. The now Washington Commanders are on the right path, and Terry deserves this, considering what he had to go through early on. What do you guys think of the receivers drafted before Terry? You can argue AJ Brown has been better. better. Deebo Samuel hasn't been as consistent, and DK Metcalf is close. Make sure to drop a like and click on the video on screen.